Imagine standing on the battlefield, your life hanging on a knife's edge. No distractions. No second chances. In that moment, your focus decides everything, whether you live or die. This was the reality for Miyamoto Musashi, Japan's most legendary swordsman. For him, focus wasn't optional, it was survival. But here's the remarkable part. The focus Musashi cultivated wasn't just a product of life or death duels. It was a skill he refined, a skill you can learn and apply to master any challenge in your life. In this video, we'll uncover how Musashi achieved razor-sharp focus on command and how you can too. These aren't generic tips. These are battle-tested strategies from one of the greatest warriors in history. Part 1. The Art of Preparation. Picture this, Musashi standing alone on a misty battlefield. His opponent is a shadowy figure in the distance. The duel hasn't started yet, but Musashi's mind is already as sharp as his sword. He's calm, focused, unshakable. Why? Because Musashi's focus didn't begin when he drew his sword. It began long before that moment. His preparation was the key. Musashi had a saying, "Anticipate nothing, be ready for anything." This wasn't just philosophy, it was his way of life. He didn't waste mental energy obsessing over every possible outcome. Instead, he immersed himself in preparation. He studied the battlefield, analyzed his opponent's strengths and weaknesses, and rehearsed potential scenarios in his mind. By the time he stepped into battle, he didn't need to think. Every move, counter-move, and variation was already accounted for. His body and mind were one, and his focus was unbreakable. Musashi knew this fundamental truth. If you walk into a challenge unprepared, your mind scatters. Panic sets in. Doubts creep up. Distractions multiply. But if you've laid the groundwork, focus becomes effortless. Think about your own life. How often do you step into tasks, meetings, or challenges without a plan? You might think, "I'll figure it out as I go." But when the pressure mounts, distractions hit you like arrows, and your focus shatters. It's like walking into a duel blindfolded. Preparation sharpens your mind before the real challenge even begins. It's about clearing your desk before work, reviewing your plan the night before, or visualizing your steps before you act. The more you prepare, the fewer decisions your brain has to make in the moment. Instead of hesitating, you move forwardly, instinctively like Mushashi. This isn't about over-planning or being rigid. It's about knowing the terrain so well that nothing surprises you. It's about entering your personal battlefield with confidence because you've already won the mental war. So before you tackle your next task, stop. Take a moment. Eliminate distractions. Write down your goal. Visualize the steps. Prepare your mind. When you step into action, your focus will follow sharp, unbreakable, and unstoppable. Musashi didn't just fight battles. He won them before they even began. Part 2. The Power of Intensity. Now, imagine walking onto that battlefield knowing one thing. You only get one shot. No second chances. No do-overs. If you slip up, that's it. Game over. This is the level of intensity Musashi brought to every duel. His life literally depended on it, and because of that, his focus reached a level most of us can barely imagine. But here's the thing. You don't need to fight for your life to harness that same intensity. You just need to treat your tasks like they matter that much. When you operate with the mindset that failure isn't an option, distractions start to evaporate. Suddenly, scrolling through your phone, zoning out, or procrastinating isn't even on the table. You're locked in. Take Musashi's most famous duel with Sasaki Kejiro. This wasn't just any fight. Kejiro was one of the deadliest swordsmen in Japan. Musashi showed up deliberately late, throwing Kejiro off his game. But when the moment came, Musashi didn't hesitate. His focus was absolute. With one precise strike, he ended the duel instantly. That's the power of intensity. Knowing you're here to execute, not hesitate. Now think about your own life. How often do you treat your work, goals, or tasks with that level of intensity? Probably not often. We give ourselves too much room to slack off, thinking, "I can just try again later." But when you create the feeling that you have no second chances, you force your mind into a hyper-focus state. Here's how to tap into that. 1. Set a timer for 30 minutes. 2. During the time, act like you're facing your own Kejiro. No distractions. No excuses. 3. Imagine that if you don't finish what you're working on, you lose, period. It sounds extreme, but that's the point. Musashi didn't win by giving himself an out. He stepped into every battle knowing it was all or nothing. Adopted mindset and watched the focus sharpen like a blade. Part 3. The 60-second reset. Picture Musashi moments before duel. The air is heavy with tension. His opponent's eyes are locked onto his. The pressure is immense. But Musashi doesn't panic. Instead, he closes his eyes, takes a deliberate breath, and suddenly, he's fully present. His mind is as clear as a still pond. This wasn't meditation. It was a reset, a quick, sharp technique to snap his mind into the moment. Here's how you can use it in your life. 1. Inhale deeply for 4 seconds. 2. Hold your breath for 4 seconds. 3. Exhale slowly for 4 seconds. Repeat this for 60 seconds. With each exhale, imagine clearing away mental fog. With each inhale, fill yourself with laser-sharp focus. Musashi didn't let chaos control him. He controlled his mind with a single breath. You can too. Part 4. The method of adaptation. Musashi walked into every duel with a plan, but he never clung to it. Why? Because he knew that a rigid plan is a brittle plan, and brittle things break. His philosophy was simple. Fixed plans are the enemy of focus. The moment conditions changed, Musashi adapted fluidly, effortlessly, without losing his edge. Part 5. The one-strike mentality. Musashi believed in one thing, one strike, one victory. This was his philosophy in battle. No drawn-out exchanges. No hesitation. Approach your tasks with the same mindset. Eliminate distractions, commit fully, and deliver one decisive blow. Musashi didn't step into battle thinking, I'll try my best. He stepped in thinking, I will win. You can do the same. If this video inspired you, subscribe to Wizard for more strategies to master your life like a warrior.